everybody, how are we all doing? I hope everyone is good. Happy 1st June, and I wish your family the joy that comes from God Himself. I pray that you would experience the gift of long life, prosperity, and all that you ask from God. So today we will be talking about a father's strength through humility. Dear brothers, dear fathers, dear leaders, dear adorers, dear noble husbands, dear brothers, all the men, please gather here, let's talk. In a world that often equates strength with dominance and success with self-promotion, it is easy to forget the true strength that lies in humility, especially for a father, the chief cornerstone of a family, the lords, the heroes, those that fought in the war, those that fought spiritually, prayed for their family, interceded for their children, paid the school fees. They did everything. Some were appreciated, others were not. But we want to say thank you. However, to be a father is a scary responsibility you carry. Not just to provide, not just to protect, but to lead by example. To model the character that your children will emulate and your household will reflect on. In this role, humility is never weakness. It is wisdom, it is discipline, and quiet power. I would say wisdom is the application of the knowledge you've attained over the years. You might be 50 years old, you might be 40, you might be 30, you might be 90, you might be 100. It does not matter. You might gather a lot of information. You might be knowledgeable about every aspect of academical knowledge that is there, or even a religious one, but not able to apply them. It's not useful. So the effective application, effective means it's working. If the Bible said, thou shalt not do this, and you fear the Lord your God, and you make that information you've acquired applicable, that is what I categorize as wisdom. However, the Bible, some call it the good book. The Bible said, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And knowing, running away from evil is true knowledge. Discipline. A lot of our Odogus lack this one. A lot of our men are lacking in discipline, self-discipline, financial discipline, all the discipline that you can think of. Our prayer is that may God give you strength to be more disciplined, to represent your family, to represent your name, to represent your legacy. Amen. And then quiet power. Power. Quiet power is the ability to know your strength, to know how great you are, and you still will not oppress people regardless of how mighty you are. That is quiet power, and it is very captivating. Humility in the home. leading as an example. The home is a mirror of a man's heart. When a father works in humility, he creates a space where peace thrives. Correction is received without resentment, and love flows without condition. Children are not just sharpened by rules. They are sharpened by the tone, their father's voice, the patience in his actions, and the grace in his corrections. Ephesians 6:4 remind fathers, Father, do not provoke your children into anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instructions of the Lord. However, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and your mother, for this is the first commandment with a promise that you will live long and inherit the earth. So, as children are given a promise, parents, on the other hand, do not provoke them into anger. Bring them up in the rules, in the discipline, the instructions of the Lord. This is not to call dominance, no, but to nurture. It's not just the duty of the woman to nurture. However, today we're not talking about the woman. We're talking about the man, the odogus, the leaders, the heroes. A humble man listens. He apologizes when he's wrong. He admits when he does not know. And in doing so, he teaches his family that humility is adorable and honorable. Humility in conflict, a quiet strength. Humility gives a man clarity in conflict. Rather than reacting in anger or prideful, a humble man considers others. Listen fully. Listening to understand. Listening, processing. Be fully assured, confirming that you have understood. Ask questions if you need to ask, so you can be clear about the information you've attained before you react. And when you are reacting, please try not to react in anger. Because remember, you're strong, you're powerful, your muscles are larger. So when you react in anger, you might destroy a lot of things. You might say a lot of awful things that might hurt. And remember, when you say things you don't control, sometimes it gets too late. It becomes too late to make amendment. So, listen fully. I know the responsibilities are plentiful, but the Lord is your strength. Respond wisely. In a heated moment, whether at home or in the community, it is the humble leader who brings calm. Proverbs 15:1 says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word